Hello and welcome to South Jersey in Focus. I'm your host, Veronica Dudo. On this week's episode, a captivating theater and dining experience is celebrating its one-year anniversary as it continues to draw big crowds to Atlantic City. Plus, a new sports museum is on a mission to educate the public about the rich history and societal impact of sports globally. It's been over a year since Caesars Atlantic City introduced the innovative show The Hook, which continues to captivate audiences and draw crowds. This high-energy production blends thrilling performances with interactive elements, setting a new standard for live entertainment in the city. Created by Spiegelworld, The Hook has not only sustained its popularity, but has also significantly impacted the local entertainment scene. The theater also has an attached dining experience, Superfuico. The unique and vibrant restaurant combines eclectic cuisine with an immersive entertainment experience. For more, we're joined by Giulietta Consalvo, the general manager of The Hook and Superfuico. Thank you so much for your time. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
It is a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
So first, for people who may not be familiar with the show, tell us more about The Hook.
Well, The Hook is a daring, adults-only spectacle extravaganza celebrating Atlantic City's golden age of entertainment. It has breathtaking acrobatics and unexpected surprises and music and laughter and comedians, and it is all housed in the beautifully restored venue of the once Warner Theater on the boardwalk in Atlantic City that was built in 1929. So brought back to life by the incredible creative minds of Spiegelworld, along with the amazing partnership with Caesars Entertainment. They renovated this beautiful historic theater, and now we have The Hook.
So it's located on the world-famous Atlantic City Boardwalk. Of course, it is housed in this historical theater. How has the reception to The Hook evolved over the past year since its debut?
Well, I think the reception has been phenomenal. I think from a local point of view and the Atlantic City natives that had those memories, the older contingency that had those memories of the Warner Theater and the entertainment and just the beauty of the old theaters of Atlantic City from a million years ago. I think it brought back some fantastic and much needed nostalgia of where we are today. But thanks again to the creative genius of Ross Mollison and his team at Spiegelworld. I think the show has quickly become a must-see in Atlantic City for the new and younger audiences. And we are drawing more and more each week. And it's been a phenomenal response.
If we could just dig in a little bit more on that idea, what really inspired the concept behind this?
For The Hook in itself, I think basically it was just taking all of their incredible moments and all of the past ideas that they had and the production values that they have, and looking at all of their shows that absolutely captivate audiences worldwide. And I think the partnership with Caesars was a natural one. Their number one show, Absinthe, sits on the Caesars parking lot in Las Vegas. So I think that partnership has been growing for years. And when they thought of the spaces that they could renovate or perhaps offer, this was the first of many. And the second being at the Link. And right now they've opened Disco Show. So that was the second of the marriage with Caesars for this amazing duality of concepts.
Now, there is an accompanying restaurant, Superfuico. Can you talk a little bit about how that stands out from other dining experiences?
Well, I think for Superfuico, the idea was to fuse extraordinary dining with immersive entertainment. We've created a space where the guests feel like they're a part of the show. we are literally backstage. So when you open, if you're walking on the stage and you go backstage and there's a door, you go down a step and you are right there in the restaurant. So each room is named for a part of the theater. So you enter into the backdrop room, and then you pass through the chandelier room, into the dressing room, into the prop storage, and a little private area called the aviary. So every little bit of Superfuico really tells the tale of living backstage. And of course, with Ross Mollison's vision and his team's expertise, we've really made Superfuico a standout in the area. And it's more than just a restaurant. It is an unforgettable, absolutely unforgettable, interactive experience for diners.
And so many great reviews from those diners. Can you talk a little bit about the type of cuisine that guests can expect and how it complements the overall theme of the restaurant?
Well, I think the guests right now are enjoying coastal Italian dishes with a creative twist by our executive of culinary, Chef Anna Altieri. It's comforting yet bold and perfectly aligned, I believe, with the vibrant theatrical atmosphere that Spiegelworld is known for. We also have an amazing beverage program that is spearheaded by our executive of beverage, Nico Novik. And if you want to sample some amazing craft cocktails specifically tailored for this experience, please come on into our backdrop bar, into the horse dive bar, Tides Out, Cheval during the summer. We have some lovely concepts, and all at the helm of those cocktails are Nico, and he does just such an amazing job with that.
How does the integration of live entertainment enhance the dining experience at Superfuico?
I think that you really feel like you're a part of the show. And I believe that, the best way to experience it all is to do dinner and a show, right? Get tickets to the show, have dinner before or after, and it really just enlightens your whole evening. However, if you're not going to buy tickets to the show and you just want to have dinner, you truly could experience a little bit of the hook running in and out of those doors. And I think it breaks the walls, it breaks the barriers, and it really lets everybody's guard down. So to be in an elevated dining experience, but not to feel stuffy or intimidated, you literally can speak to to your fellow guests. You can enjoy the moments of a magician coming through, or a dancer, or maybe you might even see the lobster chorus dancing to Rock Lobster, which is always fun. So I think it just adds to the element of letting your guard down and just being a part of it.
What aspects of the hook have contributed to its sustained popularity with audiences?
I think the interaction with the audience, really. I think that when you come see the hook and you realize that fourth wall is broken, so you're not just watching a show, you really are involved with the show. So much so that you might find yourself undressing and dressing some jugglers while you're in the first row. So, I mean, I think, again, it's the same thing about Superfuico. You have to just let your guard down and just be open to everything, because it really is something like you've never seen or experienced. And I think that's what keeps them coming back. We have a lot of regulars, which you would say, oh, of course the restaurant has regulars. But when I see people coming back to the show 4 and 5 and 6 times and bringing friends and family, that is definitely saying something that they need to get back there.
Now, on that point, how has the hook and Superfuico impacted visitor numbers and revenue for Caesars Atlantic City?
I think that the hook has been a major draw, significantly boosting traffic and elevating the experience, because Caesars offers so much. However, I think this was a part of the missing link. There has not been a resident show, a live resident show, meaning something that is going to be permanent in Atlantic City for probably 20 years. So I think, Caesars has such a great model, and they have such a great um, following, and especially with their large player groups. I think this just added to one more aspect of bringing them home, and knowing that they could not only come to a phenomenal Italian restaurant every weekend, but have that experience of just a different atmosphere, and then knowing that they can come see the Hook. And it's not always the same show. It has the same structure and the same tenants, but you may find a different act coming in and out. And again, it gives you that sense of newness every time you see it, but with that same through line. And I think that's what makes it so special.
When you think about the East Coast, everybody automatically thinks of Broadway when you are looking at live productions. And as you mentioned, The Hook does bring in some different acts, if you will. So it's kind of that variety idea. It also has the restaurant. What has some of that feedback been in terms of the performance and production quality to offer that in Atlantic City, which of course has the Atlantic Ocean nearby?
Well, I think that was part of the vision of Spiegel World, is to say, let's take Las Vegas and the production value that Spiegel World has always offered its audiences. It is, to say top notch would be the least. It is absolutely extraordinary. So to take that New York, where they started out on Pier 17 under a Spiegel tent, and then all of their success in Las Vegas, and bringing that energy and bringing that phenomenal production value, just a number one production value to the boardwalk in Atlantic City. And I think that was part of it, is, breathing in the salt air and giving the experience to not only locals, but our feeder markets that once supported Atlantic City with the same concepts. They just haven't been around in about 20 years. So I think that was part of the plan, is let's get back to this area that was known, excuse me, as the entertainment capital of the world, right? So at one time we were known for that. And I think that was, I think Spiegel World jumped on board and said, let's go.
How can people find out more information and purchase tickets?
I think the easiest way right now is to get on spiegelworld.com, and you will find yourself going down the rabbit hole of fabulosity once you get on our website, because you're going to want to see every show we offer. And before you know it, you'll be buying plane tickets to Las Vegas and all over the world. But for Atlantic City specifically, you'll get on our website and you will see The Hook and Superfuico. You'll click right there and it'll take you to a link to purchase tickets right away. We also can be found on the Caesars website. If you are a frequenter and a guest of Caesars, go right on your Caesars website and you can click right through to Spiegel World.
Thanks so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. What a pleasure.
The Depace Museum, an emerging cultural landmark, is making a significant impact with its commitment to showcasing all sports in both American and global cultures. With a focus on diversity and community engagement, the museum contains some of the most treasured sports artifacts in sports history and aims to provide a dynamic platform for visitors. For more, we're joined by Nicholas Depace Jr., the Vice President of the Board, to discuss the museum's vision, its current exhibitions, and how it's shaping the local cultural landscape. Thanks so much for joining the show.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me, Veronica.
So first, for people who may not be familiar with the museum, can you tell us about it and also its mission?
So, our museum encompasses every sport in the world. It's not just baseball, it's not just football, not just hockey, not just basketball. It includes track and field, horse racing, auto racing, Olympic sports. So this is unique in that it's the largest collection that has every sport. We also have we're dedicated to the community of South Jersey and Philadelphia. So we have a special interest in local sports, particularly the professional sports in the area, and and the museum focuses on trying to teach and educate the youth, and actually people of all ages about sports and its cultural significance in our world, because sports is part of history. It's not just part of entertainment. It's part of history. You have civil rights involved with Jackie Robinson. You have American history with Babe Ruth and how he lifted the spirits of the Great Depression, of the nation when it was in the Great Depression. So sports plays a crucial role in the history of our world.
Absolutely. And when we look at the past and some of these amazing feats of athletes years ago, we tend to really focus on the statistics and what happened in terms of the game. But as you are mentioning, so much was happening outside of that game, in the stands with the people who were attending, and also the time period in which things were happening. So it is fascinating that you are making that connection and really, the intersection of sports and history.
Correct. For instance, Jesse Owens, we have his track uniform from when he ran at Ohio State, and you could liken Jesse Owens to someone who stood in the face of adversity when he ran in the Olympics in Munich, and Hitler was in attendance, and he won and beat Hitler's German athletes, and proved that that race was no barrier.
Now, this is very much a family affair. Can you tell us how this all came about?
So about 40 years ago, I would say I'm 37, so it would have been around the time I was born. Uh, my dad started getting into collecting game used baseball memorabilia, which were mainly jerseys and bats. He also collected autographed balls, and that evolved over time. Eventually, boxing came into the mix, and then football, basketball, and all the sports as the years came on. Now, he really got his start when he was a kid, because my grandfather, whose name was also Nicholas, uh, he actually had my dad collecting baseball cards, and my dad and him would sit down and they put the card sets together. When I was born, my grandfather did the same thing with me, and we would get all the sets of Topps baseball cards each year and organize them in binders. So my grandpa was really the catalyst of it all. My dad is the one who started collecting, and it's passed down to me and hopefully to my son, who's 8 years old now.
So let's talk a little bit about the significance of having prominent Phillies figures like Charlie Manuel and Rob Thompson involved in your recent fundraiser.
The Philadelphia Phillies have been at the pinnacle of the baseball world this year. They have the best record in the whole major leagues. And 2 years ago, they made the World Series in 2022. Last year, they came one game short of the World Series, losing to the Arizona Diamondbacks in Game 7 of the National League Championship Series. So, with Philadelphia being at the top of the baseball world, it's the month of September. It's the pennant race. The playoffs are going to start soon. Having the current manager was a big deal. And then you include Charlie Manuel, who is one of two managers in Phillies history to win the World Series. And it was almost like having baseball royalty in the room. So that was pretty significant, because as far as the museum goes, those are champions, and we focus a lot on champions. Actually, part of the name of the museum, the full title, is the Depace Sports Museum of Champions.
Now, how will the funds raised from the event be utilized in preparing for the museum's grand opening?
So for the event, we were fortunate enough to raise enough funds that we can uh, invest it back into the project, which will help to outfit the building. It's going to help to for us to give tours to different school groups, We're going to have senior citizens come. We're doing private tours right now, but we did have the Little League team from Gloucester Township. We had them come and gave a tour to the museum. So we want to give back to the community, particularly the youth who play sports, and this is going to go a long way into helping us do that and to kind of move the project forward.
Now, what can visitors expect from the Depace Sports Museum's exhibits and interactive features once it opens to the public?
So the best part about our museum is that the collection is so extensive that we're going to have rotating exhibits. We call it an evergreen effect because you're never going to see the same thing twice. At first, it's going to be overwhelming because we do have quite a bit in there, and there's a lot of stimuli. However, when you come back, you're going to notice new things every time, new exhibits. We're going to coordinate those exhibits with what is going on in sports at the current time. For instance, when the Olympics are happening, we'll have an Olympics exhibit. When college basketball is going on, we'll do a March Madness display, and we'll focus on that time of year. In terms of technology, we want to integrate technology. That's a work in progress. So we're going to have video and audio, and hopefully down the road, some more exhibits where people could simulate how to face a fastball from Randy Johnson or Roger Clemens, or how to catch a pass from Patrick Mahomes. But that's for further down the road. For now, we're focusing on the displays, the exhibits, and video and audio will be a big part of it.
Now, will the exhibits be using the artifacts that are in your family's memorabilia collection, or will there be some partnerships and collaborations with other entities?
That's a good question because, yes, we will be using the artifacts in our collection. However, we're partnering with our friend Ken Golden, who owns Golden Auctions. He has a show on Netflix that's called The Golden Touch, King of Collectibles. And we were featured in season 2 on episode 7 of his show. He's located in South Jersey, his auction house, and we're working very closely with him. We're going to have a card store, and he is going to put his name on the card store that's attached to the museum. In the card store, we're going to do what we call card breaks, which is really one of the newer and more exciting events that happen in the sports memorabilia collecting industry, where people they pay money for a certain team. So if you were doing a card break for football, you would pay, let's say, $1,500 to get the Eagles. Every card that comes out of the box, they open the box right in front of you live, and many times it's streamed on the internet. And every time you get an Eagles card, that goes to you. So you're pretty much betting that you're going to get some good Eagles cards, rookie cards, autograph cards, and cards with jersey patches. Those are the three elements you look for when you're doing card breaks. So with Ken Golden, we will be doing these exclusive card breaks.
Now, are there any upcoming events or additional ways for the public to support the museum as it prepares for its launch?
So after this fundraiser, we're not going to have another event per se. However, we always will accept donations. DepaceMuseum.org is our website, and if someone does want to donate, anything really helps. To go to DepaceMuseum.org, and if you would like to have a private tour, the information is on our website as well. Because, like I said, right now we're scheduling private tours.
Thanks so much for coming on and talking about the museum. And of course, there's a lot of excitement building for its official launch.
Yes, so in the spring will be our grand opening, and that will be the first time it's open to the entire public. Thank you.
Fantastic.